I'm asking for a ceasefire between the Somalis and the African Americans. Please. We got something bigger going on right now. This is a divide and conquer situation happening in Minnesota. Y'all know we ride together when situations arise out here. When that George Floyd stuff happened, baby, we was out there. Ain't nobody was asking what type of black you was. We all felt that. So I just don't want this ignorant conversation to overshadow what's really happening. Don't give them the upper hand. Why are we acting slow? I'm asking for a ceasefire. If you like me, please put down the shots. We ain't got time. Just put a pin in the conversation. How about that? Let's just put a pin in the conversation. And after we're done with this, then we could get back to doing that. Y'all could get back to doing that. I don't even know what type of conversation. I'm gonna go finish my electrolytes because it's.
Before I forget, I want to do like a little. I seen this video, and it was this. Y'all remember the Asha story and stuff, right? So that story was that was a pivotal story because, like I say, around that time, man. I mean, the way that it went down, it was like it was like kind of heartbreaking, it was like a heartbreaking story almost. Like even though we really didn't get to rock out like how we wanted to. And so, I was telling my homie about it, and he was like, man, because I sent him some videos, and like one of my guys, I listen to people, and I'm trying to get open to listen to people a little more. He's like, man, kind of span the stuff out, break it down or whatever like that. So that made me dial back a little bit, a couple, because I was gonna I'd do 5, 6 of these joints because I gotta do it when I remember it. My brain's I'm starting to forget. I'm starting to get a little older, so I'm starting to forget certain stuff. So I gotta put it out. So, oh, thank God for this 17, man. I'm telling you. So, he's like, yeah, man. He said that Asha was your first love. My Somali homie's like, man, that was your first love, huh? I said, nah. I said, it wasn't. I said, it's just, she was just different. She was just different. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm still young at that time and stuff. She's just different. But this is around the time I'm starting to kind of, get myself together and stuff like that. So now, I seen this video that somebody posted, and it's a Somali lady, and she remind me of Asha. She looks and acts like her. That's how she acts. She acts kind of like, well, she didn't have that accent, and I don't know where this girl got this country ass accent. She sound like she either from Dade County or either from Chicago. She been around the freedmen. You could tell she been around us and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking at her or whatever like that. But she had that little sexy ass country accent, and she said here. And I said, where'd she get that from? So she been around some country black folk. So, she's basically kind of pleading like, man, let's do a ceasefire. Like, baby, here's the thing. The issues that the older generation.
President, we campaign for you. We have hope in you. We see hope in you. Please differentiate between good, bad, and evil.
That's a Somali immigrant who voted for President Trump in 2024, but now Trump is demonizing Somalis in America, specifically here in Minnesota.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in.
On y'all's end, they was the problem. They the ones that caused all this or whatever. Ain't nothing we ain't, what we supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what we supposed to do. Like, y'all got to get that straight. I mean, but see, the thing is, she grew up around us, probably younger, so she's like, man, this shit need to, you know what I'm saying? But that's not us. That's not, like, we just kind of sitting back watching, like, man, y'all gonna have to, like I told my close homies, my close homies, I said, hey, man, if Ice Baby come get y'all, I'm coming down to the government center. You know what I'm saying? Y'all citizens, they can't really do nothing. I said, man, y'all better call Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton. They gonna get you about $500,000. Find you 2 scamming ass black Americans like them 2 niggas. They gonna get you some money. Them scamming ass niggas gonna get you some money. So I told them that. I said, I'll come down, I'm gonna see about y'all. I said, but man, bro, like ain't really too much I could do. But if they come get y'all or they come, I said, just give me your names of your family and I'm gonna come see about you. I'm gonna come down there and what I'm saying, but a ceasefire it's not really a war. This is just different tribes and some typical nigga shit. This is typical global nigga argument shit. Our cousins got issues with us, and we just gotta fix it at some point. That's it. Y'all just gotta straighten it out. That's all it is. Ain't no war. Ain't nobody seeing nobody and saying, well, you from this country and we gonna fight and all that. Well, it's never really been that. You've never really had that. This is just nigga argument and nigga talk over different cultures. That's all it is. It's just a disruption in communication and understanding or whatever. I mean, we understand what's going on, but I understand her plight. I mean, I understand what she's saying. It's not something we don't know. But now, like I say, this hasn't been something that, like I say, this, so like I say, the younger crowd and her crowd that's been around us, they don't want to really see this happen. They would like to see so-called Pan-Africanism or whatnot. I'm like, yeah, but y'all got to hold up your end. You know what I'm saying? Not her. Like, I get where she's coming from. I really do. I wish it was never like this. You know what I'm saying? If we supposed to be family, we supposed to be family. But so I thought that was interesting, and I found some old family footage and stuff like that. And I got
anytime we want some money, we got to go someplace else to get it. And if it ain't for a car, a boat, or a house that you gonna live in, you ain't gonna get it. You go try to borrow some money to buy some stock in IBM. They say no so fast you make your head swim.
But see, I want to go back to Africa for a minute. Just touch on that, because I want to make sure my view is understood properly. I'm saying that Africa, not more than anything from an economic, the opportunity to try to
my relatives, my uncle, he was talking. He was like, he was talking about economics and Pan-Africanism in Africa for decades. Like I'm talking about not none of this Dr. Umar shit. I'm talking about a real Pan-African for real. Somebody that's been over there in the motherland for decades putting in work. Ain't nobody rolled out the citizen carpet for him. They haven't. You know what I'm saying? And they should. They should have been. They letting these damn Chinese come up in there, man. Let that nigga. He should have been had his dual citizenship in Ghana or wherever. He done been to all them countries putting in work. Putting in major work. But, like, so a lot of the brothers from over here, that they've been over there, been doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing that. So, they still hold on to that idea. You know what I'm saying? And, like I say, I wish it wasn't the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. We just not having the, we're not gonna act like the shit ain't happening. Hell no, we not gonna do that. Those days are over with. A lot of times we would just look past it like, man, what's up with this nigga at the job? What's up with this dude? We have to pull some of these dudes to the side, like, nigga, they will stop your damn visa and everything. And I need to get another one of these. No, but I'm thinking about a situation. I want to put that in the video too. I'm at the job, right? Little conservative white dude, I could tell. He gets up there. This is what he tells me. He thought I was gonna go along. He says, well, the black Americans are not committing all the crime. It's the Somalis committing all the crime. The black Americans are doing great in Minnesota. Okay, well, it's some that are doing great, it's some that ain't. So I'm like, I'm sure they doing a bunch of crime or whatnot. He said, yeah, but the black Americans are the good ones. I said, hold on. Yeah, they might be doing some crime, but everybody does crime. There's a lot of white people doing crime. And so he says, but y'all are different or whatever. I said, but y'all went over there and messed up their country. That's why they over here. Yeah, but this, that. So yeah, when I hit that, the whole conversation changed. See, whenever I have conversations to anyone I suspect is a race soldier and they start using terms like that, especially when they do it at work, they'll say, what they'll do is they'll butter up foundationals and then they'll throw the other black folks under the bus. I don't let them do that. You see how that works now. So I don't let them do that. I said, well, they're over here because y'all messed up their country. You colonized, or you did some kind of military mission, or you did something. You're not going to let 100,000 niggas, they could have stayed home. What did you do to their country to where they're over here? And then you sat down and you showed them TVs to say to stay away from the freedmen, stay away from the people that made it possible, from like the 1965 acts and all that kind of stuff, you know. So, of course, a divide and conquer. But I'm letting him know, I know. See, he didn't have a report. He didn't have a reply to when I told him. I said, well, y'all messed up their country. Because, see, you're a white patriot. So in your mind, you're like, well, yeah, we did Operation Black Hawk Down. You proud of that? Well, then you got to own that. Y'all messed up their country, so now they over here. George W. was the one that did that, right? Wasn't that the Bushes? Weren't they the ones that agreed to bring them over here? Didn't they operate, you know, wasn't Black Hawk Down? Didn't that have something to do with that? So they're over here because y'all colonized their country. And you trying to get me to agree with you that they committing the most crime, which they could be. But the bottom line is no, I'm not going to join forces with you to try to, no, we're not going to do that. They tried to do that to me with the West African dude that when I was working at AIG as a team lead. They tried to pull that on them too. And oh, that nigga was tap dancing. Oh, black Americans are lazy, Bloods and Crips. He's saying this in front of the white folks. I'm still kind of pulling this nigga to the side, like, man, stop all that cool, man. Come on, bro. The hell are you talking about? Well, you know, you guys don't, you know, I mean, he's just going into the marriages and the bastard babies. I said, nigga, do we want to get on y'all? I said, do you really want me to get on you? I said, man, these people are not your friends. But they brought me over. They brought me from Green Card. I said, how do you think that was possible? So we had to sit down at Wild Wings and decolonize this nigga. Me and his other brother had to sit down and decolonize this nigga at lunch over a beer. I said, don't y'all got tribal wars over there? Well, yes, we do. We have. I said, okay, so what's the difference? Well, it's not too much difference. He said, okay, I understand. You black Americans, I understand. I said, man, what's the difference? We got choppers and y'all niggas got machetes. We ain't chopping people with no fucking machetes. He starts laughing and stuff. So now we gotta have like a coon wake up powwow. You know what I'm saying, with this dude. And he still was kind of doing little stuff, but I'm like, come on, bro, like. And guess what happens at the end? They say that his U.S. visa, his green card, guess what he does? Oh, my brother, can you help? He pulls me to the side. He said, nigga, what you send me home? I don't want to go home. He's in tears. He said, I go home. I go back home. Can you help? Can you call the embassy? You do something, you black American. I'm like, bro, what am I supposed to do? That's what we've been saying. What the fuck are we supposed to do after this? This is your idea of Pan-Africanism. What am I supposed to do? I don't know nothing about the embassy or the country. You can call it. You know, your people are from here. You have a voice. If they will listen to you. Nigga, they ain't gonna listen to me. What they gonna do? What you want me to call Al Sharpton? Al Sharpton gonna want some money. You know what I'm saying? Al Sharpton gonna want some bread. You ain't got no money in your situation. Ain't nobody knock you in the head. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had no police beat your ass. You don't really have a, you know what I'm saying? You get some nigga that when your shit expired. There's nothing that we can do. Oh, you know, he sent me home. He's crying and carrying on. I'm feeling kind of bad. Like, damn, man, I told you to stop tap dancing for these motherfuckers, man. They don't care. You know, and I'm just frustrated. I'm like, bro. So, you know, they send his ass back home. They ship his ass back to Nigeria somewhere, man. And, you know, I'm just kind of sitting there and, you know, like, I'm kind of like, you know, telling the older brother, I said, man, this nigga here, man. But, you know, so the brother's a little older. He's telling me like, man, don't shit on the brother, man. Just, you know, he said, man, he got that colonized mind. You know what I'm saying? We try to help him. We tell him what we could. But, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? They shipped him back home. They shipped that nigga back home. So that's what happened there.
Most of the people that we meet especially African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, or most of them, were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They will tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. You know, I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا. أبناء الزنا. Why? Because man, he has to give up the seed.
Man, please. So, you know, but we a lot of times we'd have to tell them, like, man, don't be kissing these white folks' ass or whatever. See, we used to dealing with these folks. We used to dealing with the folks over for hundreds of years. So we know their get down. We know that you can't trust them. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like, you know, I'd be at the job and I'd be having to tell some of these immigrants, like, hey, bro, these folks don't rock with you like that. I said, and I'm not about to join in. I'm not about to join in front of them getting on you. You know, some of the folks will pull me to the side. Hey, you know, this, this African immigrant. No. The reason why they're over here is because you fucked up their country. The race soldiers get mad when I mention that. That's why they're over here is because y'all colonized the hell out of their country. So you're not going to get me on your bandwagon to try to, no. Nope. They didn't like that. Even when the niggas tap dancing the coon in a bit, I'd be like, man, you know, I'm like, man, bro, like, I got to reenact that situation too. When I was in Oakdale and they had this one dude and he was on that, he didn't watch the TV, so he's going off the ringer. But now this sister that was just talking, she's not like that. So I want
He's my friend. It's not for you to judge.
I want to make that clear, but I'm still trying to figure out where she got that damn accent. I mean, her shit was deeper than mine. Like she said it with all. I said, where did she get that accent? But you know, she probably been around us. But I don't think she said Minnesota, but I don't think she's from Minnesota. Cause she didn't say H-E-R-E. She said H-E-A. Deeply. So I'm like, okay, she sound kind of like she from Florida. Or either and another word she said is, I said, well, okay, I'm hearing a little Chicago too. So she been around some country niggas, man. She had to been, you know, and like I said, that's okay. But like I say, she reminds me of Asha, man. She act just like her. She looked like her. She kind of looked just like her a little bit. The Asha story, she looked like Asha, man. She looked just like her. She had that same flick. You can't really see her. You can't really see because, you know, they cover up. You can't really see what a lot she got going on. But now, if you were to see, if she showed that whole video, you probably gonna see a lot. But you can't really see it. You can't. But that's how she looked though. She looked and act just like her. But Asha just didn't have the country accent or whatever. She kind of had, like, she was kind of getting, you know, she didn't have it like her. Like, oh girl, she ain't got no Somali accent really. Like, she got a whole nigga accent. She got a black American accent.
Y'all know we ride together when situations arise out here. When that George Floyd stuff happened, baby, we was out there. Ain't nobody was asking what type of black you was. We all felt that. So I just don't want this ignorant.
But Asha didn't have a black American accent, but she acted like her. Like, she kind of moved like her, and she, you know, how she looked, her eyes and all that. I was like, man, that looked just like Asha, man. She look and act just like her. So that's the prime example. If y'all want to know how did Asha look and how she acted like her, and she looked kind of like her. You know what I'm saying? And she got that little and that same little, you know, like that smile and stuff. She be cheesing with her teeth and stuff. So, you know, but that's how it was, man. But see, look. So now this might be an Asha addendum, damn dear. She, around the time when I was talking to her, she would and this was, like I say, this was way after like the Natasha story. So, but I think I'm gonna drop these back to back. So Asha, this was around the time when, like I say, this was, you couldn't, you ain't dating outside. They not, this is 05 now. This is around 05, probably 06 or whatever. Like this was around those years when that light rail was started. Might have been 04. No, it wasn't 04. It was 05. I think it was 05. So go up in here, give me some. So they wasn't accepting. That wasn't a thing. Now the older generation, y'all gotta understand. This was from 2005 we're talking about. So I was in my early 20s. I was very, very young. It's 2025. That's 15 years later. So the older generation, as the guy told me, if you go back and look at the Milwaukee video, the older generation is dying out. That's what he's saying. They said they're already dying out. So they're losing a lot of them ways. So that's why the sister was talking about, well, you know, we all won, we a ceasefire. She's looking at it, she's not looking at it from the standpoint that her ancestors are looking at it. And that's why she didn't really say, I didn't see the whole video. I think there's a video bigger than that. But what I got, she's looking at it from the standpoint of, you know, we were out there for George Floyd and this, that, and the third. That's the only, I mean, I don't know what other, I don't know what other black person that got unalived that they've been out there for besides George Floyd. I don't know what they was doing in Ohio for Tamir Rice. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. You know, George Floyd, that's one thing you could mention. She didn't really mention Tamir Rice and all, because there's Somalis in Ohio too. So far as our folks getting unalived by the law, okay, you're gonna have your outliers. You're gonna have that. You know, you're gonna have, but far as groups, I'm talking about the whole damn community. Let's keep it 100, y'all. The whole community. Did they really come out for Trayvon and everything else or whatever like that? But see, remember, you still had a conglomerate of them that was on that, well, you know, I'm not black. I'm something else. But see, you start getting belt to your ass a little bit, you're going to start finding out you black real fast. Whether you come from our lineage or not, you're going to find out, yeah, it ain't gonna be a whole ton of picks and chooses. But here's the thing too. A lot of these race soldiers, they know the difference. Don't never get them twisted. They know. They know black Americans from other people. They know, man. They fucking know. Some people say, well, they don't differentiate at all. To a certain degree, they will. So to a certain degree, they will. You know, but now, Now, oh nigga, you black. Ice Ice Baby's in town. And like I said, man, you know, that sister right there, like I said, I'm not gonna say nothing bad about her, you know what I'm saying? She didn't say nothing that was off code. You know, she said the right thing, like, yeah, there needs to be a ceasefire, but there's no war. We don't have a war with the Somali community. We have a community that didn't align with us until the past maybe 15 years as a group. The younger ones may be aligned and they adopt our style and adopt us, and they might be like, well, hey, I'm black. But now the older generation, they didn't pass that along. It's not the younger generation's fault. I want to be very clear. It's the older generation's fault. They wanted to align with the white supremacists and align with white ass kissing. And, you know, it's not doing their children and their offspring very well. You see what I'm saying? So this ceasefire, they said it needs to be a ceasefire. Like I said, we're not at war with them, so there's no ceasefire. We just got a couple folks that's basically like, well, you know, y'all, let's see what y'all gonna do. Because we done did all the heavy lifting here in America. So, you know, we just want to see, hey, you know, y'all, it's y'all's time. You gonna have to get the belt. We've been always getting the belt. We gonna continue to get it. But, you know, am I running out here and protesting about it? Hell no. No. No, fuck no. I'm not. You know, I'm not, man. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to show y'all that video, man, because she reminded me of Asha so damn much, man. She act and look just like her. I couldn't see her whole body, but she act and look just like her, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, you know, like I say, ain't that big of it. I guess notice, man, when stuff starts, when the heat start getting turned on other communities, when the heat gets turned on other communities, everybody runs to us and be like, because see, here's the bottom line. Let's keep it a buck. If you ain't got Black American Revolution and if our folks with our lineage don't really come out and step to the front, you see what's going on. You seen what happened to Ethiopia. We probably could have easily shut that down. They ended TPS. We're like, hey, you know, y'all had a long time to really get down with us and align with us. Y'all want to stay over there? Hey, it's very unfortunate. Because remember, back in the day, South Africa, they pulled that apartheid bullshit and Black Americans wasn't having that shit. Because we're like, okay, these are our brothers and y'all doing this to them. It was no benefit for us. We could have just kept on drinking Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't like that. We felt it was wrong. Like, man, y'all on that Jim Crow shit over there. We like, man, we just got over that shit. Like, hell no. We shut that shit down. Because we felt that our brothers over there were being mistreated and we didn't like it. You know, but I mean, same thing with the, you know, the same thing with the pandemic. I'll put it over here like this because I think it get hot. The same thing with the pandemic. I'm serious. My household was very serious. No chicken fried rice. To this day. They were kicking Africans out of China. No chicken fried rice. I've been strong since 2020. I was not bullshitting about that. If y'all keep kicking Africans out of China, I ain't buying shit. And they started whining when they passed the Asian crime bill and stuff like that. See, we have an effect here. You know what I'm saying? But again, my thing is, if we gonna be family, we need to be family. It don't need to just be no one-way street and then it gets bits and pieces of people out of here. No, we can't have that.